Well, Valtteri, the sun was shining, but it's kind of got itself hidden behind the clouds now. How are you feeling ahead of today's race?
I'm feeling good. I don't think it really makes a big difference if it's cloudy or sunny. It's been pretty much like this all weekend, and yeah, the track temp can for sure vary a bit with that, but otherwise, yeah, feeling good and all set.
Obviously, you're starting on pole, so massive congratulations for that. What kind of battle do you expect coming up from behind you?
I think it's going to be a good battle. I think race pace-wise, us Red Bull are really close, and of course there's the threat of the guys starting with a soft tire in the third row. So for sure, at least in the opening laps, they can be there to cause some trouble. But you know, I think the main thing for me is to obviously look ahead, focus on my race start and the first stint.
Well, I guess there's about a couple of hours left before the race gets underway. What are you up to now? What do you get up to before that all kicks off?
We've had quite a few meetings as normal this morning already, so for me everything already is clear in my head. So now it's time to chill a bit, you know, get ready and get my thoughts together for the race start, and yeah, calm before the storm.
Absolutely, and obviously there was talk about the fact that it was windy conditions yesterday. How does that affect the race today, if indeed it stays the same?
It's tricky here with the wind, and with this wind direction, you know, we have headwind on the straight, which makes the straight slower, but pretty much all the corners is tailwind, and tailwind for the cars is really bad, so we lose quite a bit of downforce, and it's just a bit more unpredictable when it's gusty, and yeah, it can lead you to mistakes. But so yeah, maybe if there's any chance to give any margin in places, you need to try and do that, but if you have to push, then you push.
Thank you very much, Valtteri, and before we head off, could you please just give us a summary of how you're feeling ahead of the race and finish, please?
Kisa on kaikki valmista, että tänäänkin on tuulinen päivä niin kuin joka päivä ollut tänä viikonloppuna, että se ei ole mitään uutta sinällään, mutta tietenkin tuo omat haasteensa, ja tässä pääsuoralla niin aika hyvä vastatuuli, niin tietenkin lähdössä takaa tulevat, niin saa vähän vetoapua siinä, mutta se on noin 350 metriä ekaa mutkaa paalupaikasta, niin ei se mikään kovin pitkä matka, että koitetaan saada hyvä lähtö. Mä uskon, että se on tänään tosi tärkeää ja siihen panostetaan niin paljon kuin aina ennenkin, ja sen jälkeen uskon, että kaikki menee yhden pysäyksen taktiikalla ja koitetaan pysyä niin kuin kärjessä ja pitää homma kontrollissa ja minimoida virheet, mutta mä uskon, että meillä on vauhti hyvä tänään, niin kaikin puolin hyvä fiilis ja hoidetaan homma himoon.
Thank you very much, Valtteri. Thank you.
Behind you, man. It's freezing.
Hello there, Lewis. A lot of wind going on today. How are you feeling?
I feel like I'm standing in the wind tunnel right now. It's crazy, the headwind we had down this main straight.
What kind of effect will the wind have in today's race, do you think?
Well, it's been really difficult all the days we've had wind in the afternoon, and it means that obviously in some places you have a headwind, some places a crosswind, and other places a big tailwind, and there's big gusts of up to like 30 kilometers an hour. So it makes it really tricky that's why qualifying was so difficult, just trying to find the right balance.
Absolutely. P2 today, small margins between you and Valtteri yesterday. You guys looked quite impressive up against the Red Bulls. How are you feeling ahead of the race, and what kind of race do you expect?
I feel good. I think it's going to be a difficult race. I think strategy-wise is not the most exciting because these tyres, for example, the hard tyre can do a race distance and a half or something like that, so they're far too hard. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be interesting opportunities as the race unfolds, hopefully, and hopefully it's exciting for the fans.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Take care. Have a good one.
Well, I'm almost scared to interrupt this chat between Max and Sergio right now, because you two have got a real opportunity today, haven't you? And Max, with Sergio behind you, opens up some options for the race.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to try and have a good start, and from there we'll see how competitive we're going to be against them. But yeah, I hope it's going to be exciting.
And Sergio, great performance from you yesterday as well. I know you thought there was maybe a little bit more in the car. What's the Red Bull like around this circuit?
Well, I think very much like every other car, it's difficult. You know, it's difficult to get a lap, to understand the conditions, to get into a rhythm. Every lap you do is different, and yeah, we saw that with very much everybody. But at least we have a good grid position where I think hopefully we are able to stay with the leaders and yeah, fight them hard.
And Max, are you happy with the tyres you've got left? Obviously, you guys and Mercedes have different options for the race today. Do you think you've gone the right direction?
I think it's pretty similar, to be honest, with the mediums. and then the hard. So yeah, it should be fine. I mean, I don't think there's a lot you can do there. Just need to be quick.
Lots of overtaking, well, I say lots of overtaking opportunities around here. Where do you think the opportunities are? Is it just 1 and 5, or have you got more in mind?
It's a bit hard to follow around here, and with the low grip you have, it's making it even more difficult. But let's see. I just hope we can be close, and then maybe with strategy or whatever.
You got a great launch off the line last weekend. Is that in your mind today, or is it because it's dry here and it's probably going to be a bit different?
There are never any guarantees, so every single weekend you have to do it again, and yeah, we'll try to have a good one again.
And was it a busy chat, Sergio, with the engineers last night trying to work out the plan for today? Is this kind of an option A, B, C and D even?
No, it's a very straightforward race strategy. You know, it's more down to what happens if there are safety cars around or that kind of stuff. But generally, it's a straightforward race. We know what we have to do, and we just have to try and execute it perfectly.
How's your car in this wind? Because it's certainly windy down this pit lane right now.
It's tricky. It's going to be tricky for everyone. Consistency-wise as well, but that can offer some opportunities as well for the racing. At the end of the day, it's the same for everybody.
And this year, Max, in the same team colours as well, so maybe, hopefully not some contact like we had last year.
Why does everyone always need to bring that up? But yeah, that's never the target.
All right, Max, could we have a word from you looking ahead to the race in Dutch, please? Thank you.
Ja, natuurlijk. Gisteren was het niet optimaal, maar vandaag nog alle kansen natuurlijk om het recht te zetten. Dus daar gaan we voor.
Sergio, a few words in Spanish, thank you.
Sí, esperamos hacer una buena carrera, una arrancada es importante y quedarnos con los líderes y poner presión desde la vuelta 1 hasta el final, ir al límite y bueno, buscar ese podio el día de hoy.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, Daniel, last night you weren't so sure of what happened. Are we any clearer this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't execute. It was obviously frustrating at the time, but today's another chance to make things better. So I'm certainly more. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the race. Obviously, I'd love to be starting further up, but I know I can move forward. So that's a challenge now to see how far up I can go, and that's the challenge I'll put on myself today.
Yeah, as we can see, the sun is battling its way through the clouds. Can we expect you to be battling your way through the field today?
Yeah, that's the plan. You know, it's sometimes these races can be actually some of the funnest ones. You know, when you're coming from the back through. So yeah, I'm certainly been visualizing some overtakes overnight. So I'll try and execute them as planned.
Obviously, we know you as a man of enthusiasm. P16 isn't where you wanted to be, but give us some positivity ahead of the race.
The sun came up today, so that's enough to get me going, and new day, new opportunity.
Absolutely, and finally, last time McLaren driver went out in Q1, they earned a podium. Could we does that put a bit of pressure on you, or does that give you a bit more belief in today?
Makes me happy. Maybe that's all part of the plan. I like that statistic.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sweet. Well, Lando, mixed feelings yesterday between qualifying and practice, but great evidence of exceptional pace. How are you feeling ahead of the race?
I'm excited. I think there's a good opportunity for us to go forward, have some good racing, especially with the Alpines there. With the Ferraris, with the AlphaTauris, so yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one, and I'm hoping we go forward as well. So we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely, you've been off to an exceptional start this season. What do you put that down to?
A number of things. I mean, we've been a bit lucky in a couple of scenarios, but we've also just done very well as a team. We've been fast. We've been there where we've needed to be. I guess especially last weekend, or the last weekend we did in Imola. So a combination of a lot. I feel like I'm doing well as a driver. I'm driving well. I'm doing well in qualifying. I'm doing well in the race with the strategy and looking after the tires and everything when I need to. So just a bit of a package, you know, a package overhaul this year, and it's showing. So I'm happy for myself, but also for the team, because the hard work's paying off.
Hoodie on, hat on. It's windy over here in the pit lane. What do you expect that to have What kind of effect do you expect that to have on today's race?
I think quite a few. I think the wind is the biggest thing for us. It affects us a lot in the cars. It makes our lives very tricky. Lap on lap it changes, the car balance changes, so it's not easy to settle into a good rhythm. It's easy to make mistakes, whether you lock up the tires or, I spun yesterday in turn 14, so it's easy to kind of overdo it just a little bit. So for such a long race, it's going to be about the consistency, not making mistakes and so on, so that'll be my job.
What sectors or phases of the race do you think will be the most crucial?
I mean, the start, really. Lap 1 is always a big point. It was a fun start we had here last year. Obviously, with the drizzle, it made our lives a bit easier on the softs. But I don't know. I think the first few laps, the pit stop phase, is when everything kind of, the chaos starts to happen, and you can gain or lose quite a bit. So we'll see. But it's a long race, and yeah, it'll be an exciting one. So we'll see what we can do.
I know you don't want to put any pressure on yourself. Do you think you have podium pace today?
Maybe not quite as confident as it but we have good pace. I'm confident we can go forwards, we can pull off a good race, a good strategy and so on. Maybe with a little bit of luck we can say yes, but yeah, we'll do our best, that's all.
Thank you very much, Lando.
Well, Lance, I know yesterday was a tough afternoon for you. How was the car feeling around this track?
Yeah, it was a tricky day for us. Didn't feel too good yesterday, but long race today. Looking forward to it.
What have the team said to you overnight? Is there anything that you can understand more today than you did yesterday, or is there anything they can tell you that will help in the race?
Yeah, for sure. We looked through it. There's definitely some things we learned, but today's a new day. There's always opportunity in the race, so yeah, like I said, looking forward to it.
You've got a team behind you doing pit stop practice right now. It looks like it's probably a one-stop, but do you know, in terms of your race, what your options are right now? Is it fairly straightforward, or have you got an opportunity here today to do something a bit different?
Yeah, I think a lot can happen, safety cars and stuff, so we'll, focus on getting a good start, and then do the best strategy we can to pick up some positions and then find ourselves in a good position at the end of the race.
Have you identified any particular overtaking points for you around this track?
I think always trying to get a good run out of the last corner, is the way to do it. But
tuck in behind somebody coming down
first
here.
Lap, yeah, first lap and stuff as well. There's going to be opportunities, so we'll see.
What about positions today? I know starting from 17th, it's a long way ahead of you. Where can you realistically reach to? What have the team said?
Sorry?
Where can you realistically reach, do you think, today? Who can you be fighting with?
Well, I think, there's some cars in front of us that have good pace. So I'm sure it's going to be a tight race, but like I said, we have to focus on getting a good start and then just run our race and try and do a good strategy, get us in the points, hopefully.
Great stuff. If I could ask you just look ahead to the race in French for me. Thank you, Lance.
Ouais, très excité pour la course. Je pense qu'il y a beaucoup d'opportunités aujourd'hui, alors on va voir qu'est-ce qui va arriver.
Merci beaucoup.
Thanks.
Sebastian, fantastic performance from you yesterday. How did it feel in the car?
A bit better, obviously. Conditions are quite tricky, I think, for everyone. So, yeah, let's see what we find today.
Did you wake up this morning and hope it wouldn't be as windy as it was yesterday?
No, I woke up knowing that it will be as windy as it was yesterday, or maybe even windier. So, yeah, I think it is what it is, and it's the same for all of us.
Do you enjoy driving this track?
I think it is a fun track, yes. So it's a tricky one, it's a challenging one. Not easy to get everything right, so I'm sure we'll have a busy race.
What about your finishing position today? Where realistically can you aim for, do you think? You're starting from P10. Great place to stop. Can you get up there and get some good points today, do you think?
Well, we'll see. I think it will be very difficult. The midfield is very close, so first we want to make sure that we stay where we are, and hopefully we can get a little bit up the road.
Did the race pace look encouraging?
Well, it was very busy for us in traffic, so we don't really know, but I think yesterday afternoon was a lot better, so hopefully we can carry that into the race.
And at the moment, looking at who's ahead of you, is the start a good opportunity for you here, or are you looking more into turn 1 and maybe around turn 5?
Well, we start on the softs, so naturally it's always an opportunity then if you start on the softs, and then we'll see. It's a long a long race, but the first lap is always important if you want to make up places. So let's see, we are next to Pierre, so maybe we can put some pressure onto them.
We saw Kimi last year as well make up a phenomenal amount of places on the first lap.
It was wet, so I don't think we get that today.
All right, listen, Sebastian, have a great race. If I could just ask you to look ahead to it in German for me, please. Thank you.
Ja, ich glaube, wir kommen langsam so besser in den Rhythmus und mich auf jeden Fall besser gefühlt und hoffentlich können wir dieses Momentum dann auch mit ins Rennen nehmen. Ich freue mich, ich glaube, es wird sehr eng, wird sehr schwer für uns heute ein paar Punkte mitzunehmen, aber wir werden auf jeden Fall alles probieren.
Vielen Dank.
Fernando, it's race day today. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel ready to go. I think it's going to be a crazy race, you know, and lots of overtaking, hopefully, into the main straight, and double DRS this year, so, you know, maybe more action.
Obviously, there was great pace shown by you guys all weekend, but for some reason you wasn't able to put it together yesterday for qualifying. Do you think you found what you need for the race today?
Let's see. I think it was a very positive weekend. You know, the pace of the car was amazing, and I felt comfortable every single lap around here, apart yesterday's Q1 and Q2. That's a little bit not the best way to start the race, but you know, I feel positive. It was the best weekend so far in the season for me, and let's try to score points today.
People love to see you battling through and overtaking cars. Is this the kind of track that we can see that coming from you?
I hope so. I hope we can use the pace of the car that we show in the free practice. We have the free choice of tire as well in terms of a strategy, so hopefully we can do something there. And yeah, as I said, looking forward.
Obviously, we sat here in the pit lane, and there's a lot of wind coming through. Is that to you guys' benefit this weekend, do you think?
It may be. I think we need to understand also why this weekend we were so competitive compared Bahrain and Imola. One of the differences, as you said, it was quite windy the whole weekend here, so maybe our car is adapting a little bit better on that, but who knows? As I said, you know, the race is where it counts. All the free practice is okay, the qualifying is great, but Sunday is when it matters. So we need to show the pace today, and hopefully it's a good one.
And finally, for your Spanish fans, can you please summarize how you're feeling ahead of the race today?
Bueno, confiado, seguramente ha sido el mejor fin de semana hasta ahora de las 3 carreras que hemos hecho. El coche ha ido súper bien en todas las free practice. Ayer en la crono no conseguí tener esa confianza, pero creo que en carrera podemos ir bien también. Tenemos elección de neumáticos a disposición, no entrando en la Q3, así que a ver si lo podemos aprovechar y sumar puntos para el equipo.
Gracias. Esteban, how's it going?
I'm very good.
Fabulous, fabulous. A good weekend for you guys in general, but especially you, P6. You feeling fantastic?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I mean, it's been a great day, and it's been a great build-up to the weekend. I think the guys have worked fantastically well over those first couple of races to improve the car pace. We didn't start exactly where we wanted the year, but yeah, to qualify very close to the front like we did today is a great achievement. So, you know, starting there means that we are in a good position to fight in the race. It's going to be interesting to see the different strategies around, but you know, we're ready to fight.
I guess starting in P6, does that put any degree of pressure on you guys, especially, like I said, especially for how well you guys have done during the weekend?
I think the pressure is more up when you start more in the back because you need to come back. But you know, being there already, it's you know, it's a little bit of comfort, but there will not be any of that this race. Clearly, you know, the other cars that we have around, they are going to be pushing. They are going to be, you know, trying to fight their way through, and yeah, we need to stay in there and to keep pushing.
Thank you, Esteban. Please, for your French fans, can you please let us know how you're feeling ahead of the race?
Bien sûr, comme je l'ai dit, on se sent super bien. On s'est super bien qualifié hier en étant P6. L'équipe a fait du super travail depuis les 3 premières courses pour vraiment rehausser le niveau de performance de la voiture. On n'a pas commencé la saison là où on voulait être, mais la performance qu'on a aujourd'hui, elle fait plaisir. Donc ça va être une course difficile. Il va y avoir beaucoup de stratégies différentes. Il y a beaucoup de vent, donc les conditions sont compliquées. Mais voilà, ça va être sympa parce que voilà, on part devant, donc on va faire tout pour se battre avec les autres et essayer de marquer de gros points aujourd'hui.
Merci, Esteban.
Thank you.
Well, Charles, tricky conditions yesterday, and as we stand here, this wind picks up and dies down and picks up and dies down. Looks like more of the same today.
Yeah, yesterday I haven't been driving very well and not been very consistent. So I hope today I can do a better job in the car. But I felt quite good during the race runs we've done on Friday. So at the end, the race is the most important. We have a pretty different strategy compared to the ones we are fighting for in the top 10, starting on the medium. So hopefully we can take advantage from this.
Have you learned anything overnight from the team about what you could do differently today to be more comfortable, or is it just those single lap runs that you just couldn't hook it together or couldn't get the balance right?
No, it was mostly coming from me. So as a driver, I know what I need to do in the race, and I think I will manage it better than yesterday. But yesterday I just haven't done a great job in the car, pushing the limits in qualifying a bit, pushing too much, over pushing a little bit. But in the race should be better.
What opportunities can you see in this race today? I know you talked about the strategy there. Obviously, it is a lot of talk for a lot of people before the race because lots of teams have got different options to run today. What about the actual opportunities to overtake though? Now we've got that second DRS zone as well. Can you look at turn 5?
Yeah, I still think the main overtaking will be before turn 1, but starting on the medium is a big opportunity for us. So if we manage to do a good start, I think the tricky part of the race for us will be the first few laps, because starting on a medium it might be difficult to warm these tires up in those conditions. But after that we should be in a good place.
Where are you looking at today then? Obviously you've got your teammate ahead of you at the start, but can you use each other to somehow play those around you?
Yeah, Carlos has been very competitive all weekend. We have a different strategy, so it's always good for a team to have two cars on a different strategy, and that will be the case today. So we are going to extract the maximum out of the car together and as a team, and hopefully we can have a good haul of points at the end of this weekend.
Good luck. If we could get a few words in French for us now, thank you.
Un week-end compliqué jusque-là, mais heureusement, avec le bon tour en Q2, on part avec des pneus médiums. Et j'espère qu'on pourra en tirer avantage. Le début de la course va être compliqué parce qu'il va falloir mettre ces médiums en température, mais une fois qu'ils seront en température, je pense qu'on aura une bonne course. En tout cas, je l'espère. Thank you.
Carlos is just coming round to join us now. Carlos, a great performance from you yesterday. How are you feeling ahead of this race today?
I'm feeling good. So far it's been a good weekend for me. So yeah, trying to focus now on getting a clean race and finishing the weekend on a high, of course.
Can you tell us what created that lap yesterday from you? Is it a lot of hard work that's been going on all the way leading up to now? Have you found something different in the car?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few good laps in that qualifying, and honestly, through the whole weekend, since FP1, I feel like I've been a bit of a step ahead of Imola in the first couple of races, just knowing a bit better how to drive the car, how to adapt myself to the driving style, and playing a bit with the setup, going back and forth with a couple of things, and learning. The learning curve at the moment is very steep, and what I need to focus on is in keeping it going as steep as now, and keep improving every race.
It's a unique circuit, this one. How does your car feel around here?
It is unique, but it's the same for everyone. I mean, everyone's struggling with the wind, everyone's struggling with the grip. The track is around a second to a second and a half slower than last year, so we're all suffering out there. We're all making mistakes. I'm sure today will be similar. At the moment, wind feels a bit less than yesterday, but I'm sure that by race time it will pick up like it has picked up pretty much every day for 3 p.m.
Can you get in amongst those four in front of you? This is what everyone wants to know. Can you go and cause some trouble?
Honestly, the soft warm-up for me yesterday wasn't any better than medium. So I'm not expecting a huge advantage in lap 1, unless there's maybe a bit of rain, which there will not be. It's almost the same tire, just the medium is a bit quicker over a sting length, no? But so I'm not expecting anything special, I must say.
All right, a few words in Spanish, please, Carlos. Thank you.
Sí, hasta ahora ha sido un fin de semana bueno para mí. Hemos conseguido progresar desde Imola. Es importante ahora intentar seguir progresando y no pararnos aquí, seguir aprendiendo cosas del coche. Los puntos se reparten hoy, así que vamos a intentar rematar un buen fin de semana.
Well, Pierre, quite a happy Saturday. What would make a very happy Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, we qualify ninth. We knew on this track it will be quite difficult, but we managed to make it to Q3. And yeah, the target is clearly to score as many points as we can. So I expect a pretty tough race in the midfield, and hopefully we can come up on top. Yeah.
What is it about this track that allowed you to know that you would find it difficult, or why have you struggled during this track during the weekend?
Yeah, it has been quite different to Imola and Bahrain, so very different corner characteristics and corner speeds. And yeah, we knew here, based on the corner types, could be slightly harder, but yeah, nevertheless, same for everyone. It was quite windy as well, so quite tricky. But yeah, hopefully together we can put a strong race and get a lot of points for the team.
As you visualize the way in which the race is going to play out today, who do you think is going to be your main battlers?
Yeah, all of them. You know, I think we saw in the midfield is quite tight. We know the Ferrari and McLarens are really fast in the race, but yeah, we'll give everything we have, and I really hope we, as I say, we can get some really good points.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Pierre, before you go, for your French fans, can you please just let us summarize for us how you're feeling ahead of the race?
Oui, bah, je suis excité pour la course. On s'est qualifié en 9e position. On savait que ça serait un peu compliqué. Je suis content d'avoir fait la Q3. Après, ça n'a pas été une qualif très simple de notre côté. On a un peu de mal sur cette piste, mais j'espère qu'aujourd'hui, avec ces conditions un peu plus chaudes, ça va nous permettre d'avoir un peu plus de performance et d'aller chercher des bons points cet après-midi.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hello there, Yuki.
Hello.
The sun is shining. It's a brand new day. How are you feeling ahead of today's race?
It starts from P14. We never can expect what's going to happen in the race, so just push from the beginning and see what's happened.
What we've seen of you so far in Formula One this season is on Sundays you are really, really capable and able to push on. Is that what we should expect from you today?
Yeah, like I think the pace is there always, especially AlphaTauri's car. So I just have to trust the pace, and I think the way I mean is I think it's not a true performance what I want. So I just have to gain position. My target will be points, but yeah, so just push hard.
Obviously, AlphaTauri has kind of struggled for race pace here. We spoke a little while earlier to Pierre about it. Are you expecting to have picked up just a little bit more pace ahead of today's race?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is especially here is a really tricky track and a tricky surface. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but just I think from free practice, our pace is quite good in the race. So. I don't know here it's easy to overtake or not, but just stay calm and just do my job. Yeah.
Yuki, finally, for your friends and fans in Japan, please, can you summarize how you're feeling ahead of the race?
14番手からスタートになるんですけど、まあパフォーマンスはあると思うので、しっかりそれを集中して、最後まで、諦めずに。ポイント取りに行きたいなと思います。よろしくお願いします。
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Kimi, starting from P15 today, how's the car been feeling around here? Do you feel like they have made a little step forward?
For sure we didn't get the best out of it. I had bad laps on the last set, but you know, I think it was difficult with conditions and making the tires work as we want, but it's the same for everybody. I think it wasn't easy, so we'll try again today.
Difficult to warm the tyres up around here. That seems to be what everyone's been saying to us today.
Yeah, it's not the easiest place. I think it's the surface is quite smooth, so it's hard to get the tires where you want, but you know, it's part of the thing.
We've enjoyed seeing a rerun over last year's race where you made up 10 or 11 places on that first lap alone around here, but it looks a lot trickier today. We don't have the rain for you to take advantage of either, I guess.
Yeah, I think if it's a normal condition, it's hard to pass as is always, but we'll try to make a good first lap and see what we get.
Who do you think you're battling today? Do you think you can make progress forward, or is it the battle around you that you'll be looking at?
We'll try, and I don't know. You know, if we would know, it would be much easier to plan everything, but we'll do the best that we can.
Thank you. If I could ask you to just look ahead to the race for me and finish.
No, varmaan pitkä kisa tulee, että katsotaan mitä saadaan aikaiseksi. Että renkaiden kanssa pitää olla vähän säästeliäs ja tehdään parhaamme.
Kiitos. So Antonio, great qualifying from you yesterday. Are you enjoying driving this circuit?
Yeah. Of course, yesterday was a great result for us, P12, and now we are really close to the to the top 10. So we need to make sure that we have a clear race, that the luck is a little bit on our side this race, and then we'll see.
What have the team said to you? What's kind of, I know you can't give us the exact strategy and the exact plan, but where can you target today? Are you looking at getting into the points? Is that realistic?
Yeah, I think our race pace Friday was not too bad. So, we need to have a target, and the target is to be in the points today. It will be not easy, but we will try.
And what about that run down to the first corner as well? We know Turn 1's an overtaking opportunity later in the race, but can you do something at the start today?
Last year was really a mess, the first few laps. I don't think we'll be like that this year because, conditions are better, but, lap 1 is always good to gain some position. Not too much to risk because, like you say, during a race is still everything possible. So, we need to have a good approach and try to have just a clean race.
This wind is something also that people have been talking about. Where does it affect your car the most? When we've been out on track, you definitely feel it at 13 and 14 at that point where you really want to get it right. But what about your car? Is that the worst place for you, or is it coming up over 10?
When it's wind, especially wind like this that is not really consistent, it's really difficult for us because, all the corner you need to be careful. You can lose the car straight away. So, yeah, it will be a really intense race, but in the end it's the same for everyone.
Okay, if I could get you to look ahead to the race in Italian, please. Thank you, Antonio.
Sì, sarà una gara abbastanza difficile con le condizioni e tutto, però alla fine partiamo da una posizione molto buona, quindi dobbiamo cercare di avere una gara pulita, avere un po' più di fortuna rispetto alle prime due gare, e l'obiettivo è quello di essere a punti a fine gara.
Well, Mick, it's race day. We know you've got your game face on underneath that mask. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, thank you.
Good to hear it. Good to hear it. The sun is battling its way through the clouds. We were talking a little while earlier about how the weather changes when the sun is out and when it goes behind the clouds. How do you expect the weather conditions to affect the race today?
Well, I guess it's going to be quite tricky, especially with the windy conditions. We have gusts up to 40 kph, so I think it's going to make the track and driving the car quite tricky. And obviously, when the dig comes together with the tricky wind conditions, it's going to be difficult to keep the car on track.
And that's what the fans are looking forward to, an exciting race from that perspective. You looked good through practice. What's your feeling with the progress you're making here at Haas?
Definitely good. We see a clear trend upwards, and that's obviously what we want. I feel super comfortable in the car. I feel super comfortable with the team, and so everything looking good. Yeah.
And obviously, the fans have great expectations for you, not just this season, but looking forward from that perspective. What should the fans' expectations be of you in this race today, and then going forward into the rest of the season?
Well, I guess it's quite hard to say what to expect, obviously, but hopefully we'll be able to move a few steps ahead, have some battles here and there, which would be great, and just learn as much as we can. And then looking ahead into the season, I think it's just about that learning curve, and hopefully by sometime soon we'll be able to go into Q2 and then start fighting with the guys further ahead. I guess also seeing George being quite good, I think that should be the target, to be able to reach his level by sometime this year. And then obviously, hopefully, we'll keep on doing this progress throughout the next year as well.
Talking about your fans, you've got a lot of fans over in Germany. Please, can you summarize for us how you're feeling ahead of the race today in German for us?
Ja, also ich fühle mich natürlich sehr gut. Freue mich, dass es jetzt bald losgeht. Es wird natürlich sehr tricky sein, aber ja, hoffentlich kriegen wir 1 oder 2 Battles raus und haben ein gutes Rennen.
Thank you. Nikita, how's it going?
Good. Sun is shining. The weather is quite good to compare to Imola, so yeah, good.
Absolutely. How have you found the race weekend so far?
Well, there's been a bit more consistent than Imola. I don't really have much to compare because I only have Bahrain and Italy in the bank. But yeah, it's been a good step forward. I would say a good step forward in my understanding what I have to do. And also, it's been coming along much smoother so far for me and the team. So yeah, positive.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next. How do you, on a personal evaluation perspective, how do you consider your process going so far?
I would say on the more difficult side, but very positive. I think in life it's very important to keep moving forward because eventually you're going to get there. So we've always known this year is not going to be easy for the team, but it's, like I said, it's going to plan for now.
Absolutely. Well, the final question I have for you is, what's your aims, taking all of that into consideration, what's your aims in today's race?
Today, well, laps is very important. I think realistically it's going to be difficult for us to go much forward, but as far as I'm looking, it's a good start, a clean first lap, and then we see where we stand.
Thank you very much. And please, for your fans in Russia, could you please summarize how you're feeling ahead of the race today in Russian?
Настрой хороший, мы готовы к гонке. Погода на данный момент ожидается быть стабильной, и это значит то, что условия, которые были вчера, не собираются меняться, поэтому хочу провести хороший старт и чистый первый круг, и дальше посмотрим.
Thank you very much.
Well, I've got George and Nicholas here together actually, and as we're standing here, we are fighting against the wind, which has really picked up, which I'm guessing neither of you wanted today, Nicholas.
No, definitely not. I mean, it is the same for everybody, but we know it is a weakness of our car, and we probably suffer a little bit more than it. So, I mean, we were expecting it, so I guess we can't be too disappointed by it. But yeah, it'll definitely make it a tricky race to manage.
Where does it feel it the most, your car around this track?
I don't think there's one standout, to be honest, but I think just all the corners are so undulating, and when you get to the high points, that wind really affects the car. So it's going to be difficult for everyone. There'll be a few mistakes out there, so we just got to try and make less mistakes and make the most of theirs.
You're starting from a great position today. You've got your choice of tyres as well. What's the plan?
The plan is to overtake as many cars as possible and get some points. You know, we know where our realistic pace is. The cars behind us are quicker than us, so it's going to be tricky, but we just need to make a good first lap. We're on the right tyres for the start of the race. You know, we've got Sebastian just ahead of us, so I think we're similar pace to. Who knows how the race is going to unfold, but I think we're in a great position.
Yeah, what's it going to be like at the start for you? Because I know you're going to be looking to get away, but how much are you going to have to be keeping an eye on those mirrors?
Yeah, I think in the early laps I'm just going to be fully focused ahead of me, and you know, I want to score some points. So if I just got to be looking forward. If the cars behind me are quicker, then that's how it is. But you know, it's maximum attack and see what we can do.
From the data you've seen, how likely is it you can get in the points? Is it hard work today and you could get there?
Yeah, it's going to be hard work. I think if every car finishes and there's no issues or no safety cars, realistically we'll be 12th or 13th at a push. But we've got to make the most of it. Our car's really fast in the straight. We've got the fastest car, which will make it easier to overtake, easier to defend. So I need to capitalise that and make sure I get a good last corner to slingshot down the straight and to fight against these other cars.
And Nicholas, I was going to say that to you. You do have a faster car on the straights than those around you from where you're starting. So this start-finish straight, that sequence 13, 14, round 15 to here is going to be really important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw last year how big the slipstream effect is, especially at the starts. Cars going through the last corner, sometimes 2-3 wide. It becomes not very easy to do flat out anymore. So, yeah, hoping to take advantage in those early laps, especially. And yeah, I guess we'll see what the race pace will be after that.
Are you feeling the progress in the car as the season goes along?
I mean, obviously we've had a bit of a split across all the 3 race weekends so far. Bahrain one side of the spectrum, Imola the other. Unfortunately, the start of the weekend for here was back the other way, not so good. Having some different struggles, which we seem to understand come to Saturday morning. So yeah, I think it's still too early to tell from my side, to be honest. So yeah, just looking forward to see the next races if it could continue on an upward trend.
What about tyre choices for today? Have you got strategy options today, or does it look fairly straightforward for you?
I think, to be honest, it's probably fairly straightforward, as I'm sure we'll see. I think it'll seem fairly straightforward for everybody without saying exactly what we're going to do. But yeah, I think it'll still be difficult to manage the tires regardless of what everyone chooses. I mean, the wind is just going to make it so difficult to keep the tire temps under control, so much sliding around, difficult to not make mistakes. So I think it'll really be a race of, you know, who keeps it not only on the track, but just, you know, makes as little mistakes as possible.
And difficult to warm them up as well, it has been around here, George. So how much hard work are you going to have to be doing in that car today?
Yeah, it's going to be tricky, but the sun's out, which will make things easier, but the wind's picking up, which goes against it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, I think, for everybody starting on the mediums. It's a pretty clear medium hard strategy. For the people starting on the softs, it's probably soft medium, which will maybe
give us some hard and small opportunities towards the end of the race. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So those who've got a new set of softs left, which are some up and down this pit lane, do you think they won't use them?
No, I don't think so. I think the soft is really not a great race tyre, but who knows how the race will unfold. If there's a late safety car, then that will be the tyre of choice. But if everything goes as planned, I think it's a pretty clear-cut medium hard for the majority of the grid.
Thank you very much. Go well, you two. Enjoy.
Okay.